Welcome back. At the end of the previous part, we came back into the cathedral. We saw Elliot for a little while, who's suspiciously here, and he's clearly up to something. Very, very strange. And we delivered the lavenders to the Archbishop. So, let's head on out and carry on what we're doing. Sounds like they're having fun in there. I have a hard time picturing such a kind-looking guy being a member of Class VII just like us. I remember seeing him back during the Civil War, but even then, he didn't look like a student at a military academy. Elliot's stronger than he looks, though. He's a close friend of mine. We went through a lot together back in the day. But he's never stopped believing in the power of music. A close friend. Wow, for real? I finally connected the dots. That orange hair and the last name Craig. Yes. Just like a certain commander of the 4th Armored Division. Sheesh, you're pretty sharp. I guess it's not that surprising you'd know, given who your brother is. Indeed. Anyway, what should we do next? We have already finished searching the northeastern streets. The required request in St. Ark should now be complete. I believe we can head to Parm now. It would take some time to walk there, perhaps we should take the train. Well, we finished all our other requests, so I think we're safe to head out. Then we'll head to the station as soon as we're ready. If any of you still have things you need to do, we'd better finish them now. Understood. Okay, I think there's something else we need to pick up, but we need to do other stuff first. There's Vivi. People are gathered in front of the station. Did something happen? Let's go see. We apologize for the inconvenience. We're currently investigating the situation. Please wait just a little bit longer. I smell quite the fishy scoop. Vivi. Oh, it's Rean and his little pals. Did you finish your investigation thing? Yeah, and St. Ark anyway. More importantly, what happened here? Well, seems like there was a derailing accident in the direction of Parm. A derailing accident? Is everything alright? Dunno, I just got here myself, so I don't have much more for you than that. They said until the issue is fixed, all trains bound for Parm are cancelled. I see. Gotta go. I need to dig up some info somehow. See you later. A derailing accident. Hope no one was hurt. It's kind of worrying. Indeed. What shall we do, instructor? Seems like we've got no other choice. It'll take us a while, but I guess we're walking. We need to see to this request from Parm, after all. It's extremely inefficient, but I see no alternative options. Well, hello there, members of Class 7. You seem to be in a bit of a predicament. It's you, from the mansion. Celeste, what are you doing here? I have come here at the Marquis's behest. Once your business in the city here is concluded, please meet me at the southern gate. Arrangements have been made. Oh? Arrangements? What is he talking about? I'm not sure, but it seems like Marquis Charms has set something up for us. We should finish everything we need to and head to the southern gate. I think this is the point where I can actually go off and make sure I get stuff. The time of day is advanced in the afternoon. City St. Ark has been updated. Doesn't look it. Looks the same as it was last time. There's a few things I just need to check in on. Which I think it's the residential area? I have got a guide, I'm just making sure. Like, this is the thing, is I don't want to miss stuff as we're going through things. Is it in here? Because I need to speak to Elma in here, apparently. There she is. She told me he's going to be a master at housekeeping. He's been hard at work practicing sweeping the floor recently. He's still blah blah blah. It's a book. We're getting a book. It's like, again, I've got to remember, we don't do the rounds. Get out of the way, kid. God damn it. Suspicious. The door is locked. Indeed, it is. It's that sort of thing. It's like, from not doing the rounds, you don't get the sort of like suspicious nature of this place. It's like, just very strange. Like, you just don't have that happen. It's very weird. But there's one thing I do need to get in here that I forgot to get earlier. So we're skipping through things. La la la. See there, he's talking about someone being here. Which is very strange. And then talk about lost cat. No, I wanted your shop. It's like you kept speaking. There, fluffy chiffon cake. That's what I wanted for the recipe. So, right, we're done. Let's head off to Parm. Which is... where and how? I think it's down here, isn't it? I think. That'd be a yes. What beauties! Indeed, they're lovely horses. Of course, his lordship keeps his horses from Lord. And he's offered them to you after considering the incident from earlier. That's very kind of him. Thank you, Celestin. I've never seen a horse so up close before. They're so majestic. Are they okay with strangers riding them, though? They look well trained enough that I doubt it'll be a problem. Yeah, they're both excellent horses. Take this one. So are you comfortable taking lead with the other one, Kurt? That's fine. Come on, I want to do it. I'm sure you do, but that's a lot to ask of a beginner. Sit behind me and I'll show you what to do. But behind you? I don't know if I'm cool with that. Well, it doesn't matter with me. You'll just be riding with the instructor instead of me. Never mind, I'll ride with you. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Go! Huh? Alright, no time like the present. Nope, there we go. These are fine horses indeed. Oh, you get a nice view on one of these guys. Interesting. So this is how you sit on one. We should be able to reach Parm by noon. True, but better off heading to the field exercise camp first. We need to report our current status with our special ops missions, among other things. Understood. We'll make great time too, so we can always head back to the city if there's anything more we need to do. Well, until your next return, take care. And do let us know if there's anything more we can provide. Thank you. About riding horses. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's better to travel to the camp on horseback at the moment. Oh, yeah.
Yeah!
Yahoo! Come on, Kurt! Faster! Faster!
Stop getting so worked up. Please, don't let go.
Yahoo!
You don't have to force yourself to be as excited as Yuna.
I like that bit. This is just Yahoo. Hold on. Need to head camp first. Yes, instructor. Do we? Alright. Class 7 returned to camp and reported the situation regarding the archaisms in the vicinity of St. Ark. Then they gathered information on the train accident that happened on the highway to the east. Dung-a-dung. He just doesn't care, does he? Tch, didn't think there'd be archaisms walking around here. That old guy is definitely not just some random dude. Yeah, he seemed easygoing, but that just made him even more unpredictable. But since he destroyed those archaisms, I don't think he's from the Society. I see. There's a chance those archaisms were set loose back during the Civil War, yeah? Yes, there are a few reports here and there about rogue archaisms. Because of that, it's still too early to determine that the Society's involved here. We have 2 more reports in the Parm area too. We should be on high alert. Yeah. By the way, where is Instructor Michael? Yeah, he's usually lecturing us about now. Is he dealing with the derailing incident, perhaps? Yeah, actually. He said he was going to check the scene. It seems to have been caused by a falling rock. Fortunately, there weren't many injuries. I see, that's a relief. Derailing incident. It happened in Crossbell before too. It did! It's like, I was wondering if someone was going to say that. It's like, it is that sort of thing, like, people get so, well, we're so worried about, like, oh, this game spoils so much about, like, what happens in the Crossbell games. It's like, I completely forgot that you had mentioned this. I think people forget that you forget things. Oddly enough. Yeah, a lot of people got hurt pretty bad. Anyway, seems like Class 7's working hard. It certainly does. Glad to see you're all doing so well without having to rely on your instructor. You really think so? I suppose. We've still got plenty of work ahead of us. If you compliment them too much, they'll get reckless, so try to keep it in moderation, okay? And don't treat us like we're a bunch of little kids. Your comment is unnecessary. We will not lower our guards for any reason. Instructor Rean's comment aside, I feel like I'm beginning to see just how and for what purpose Class 7 was created. What? Oh yeah? We're tasked with scouting the area around camp and responding to requests from civilians. Though scouting for enemies and improving local opinion were given as the reasons, the true purpose is to have us perform tasks that Bracer Guild would otherwise do, correct? Whoa, now that you mention it. What's that? The Bracer Guild. An organization devoted to maintaining peace and order for civilians across the continent. Though branches exist in the Empire, their operational ability is currently heavily limited. You're pretty sharp, Kurt. Well, hearing all that sure does give me a bit of deja vu. Yeah, back when I was in school, they had us do the same thing and called it field studies. I made the same connection you did, but I'm impressed you were able to do it right out of the gate like that. It's nothing special. I simply happened to notice. I can only assume the one who put together Class 7 was none other than Prince Olivert, the eldest prince in the Imperial family, one who was given up all claim to the throne. Oh, you got that too? That makes sense. The Vanders were responsible for guarding the prince here. Ah, so you knew about that, Instructor Randolph. It was my older brother Mueller, to be specific. I've heard that His Highness has connections with some members of the Bracer Guild. So when Thor's main campus was remade this year, His Highness created the branch campus and the new Class 7 as his final act before resigning. Am I wrong? No, that's right. I wasn't told those exact things. I can't imagine any of them are too far off the mark. I see, so that's what happened. Prince Olivert, I didn't know there was a person like that so high up in the Empire. Yes, he is a very honorable person. I suspect this may have been more of an act of self-satisfaction on his part. Hey, but we're supposed to be learning from what Bracers do here, right? How things are in the Empire, but Bracers are heroes. I know that, of course, perhaps as well as you. But reality is another matter. Currently, most of the guild branches in the Empire have been closed down. As for those who supported the guild, such as Prince Olivert and the Radiant Blade Master, they and everyone else who share the guild's ideals are powerless in Erebonia right now. So if Class 7 is part of the powerless group of supporters, you agree our being here is nothing more than the result of the prince's self-satisfaction? Kurt. I see, it seems like you've had a lot on your mind since even before you arrived at the Academy. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You're certainly sharp. But isn't there one thing you're forgetting? What would that be? Regardless of His Highness's intent, Class 7's special ops missions are acknowledged from every side as the formal curriculum of the branch campus. The principal, Professor Schmidt, and the Imperial government were all involved in establishing the new Class VII. It's possible each of them only thinks of us as pawns. It's possible the prince's self-satisfying act was nothing more than the trigger for our being here. You telling me it's even worse than I thought? Oh yeah. I'm telling you not to make assumptions. There are always two sides to everything. Probably 6 sides to everything in this series. You're smart, but you tend to overthink things. 7 make more sense. Think about everything you've done today. Are you trying to cast such a negative light over your accomplishments? I agree with Instructor Rean, actually. Everything we did was worthwhile, and we were able to get some valuable information, so I don't think it was a waste. Perhaps it is still too early to come to a conclusion. I remain unconvinced, but I'll stop my complaints for now. Either way, it is my duty as a student of the branch campus, and as a Vander, I shall give it my all. I should be fine for now. Probably don't want to be told this by me, but you need to find what lies beyond that on your own. Understood. I'm still a little worried about uni joining Class 7. Seems pretty interesting, instructor included. You've got that right. I'm just so eager to get to Parm at this point. Like, come on! Now that we've reported everything, let's get back to our special ops missions. Everyone ready? Ready. No need to ask us. Let's head to our second destination, Parm. I don't think I've killed enough to finish off Freddy's quest. That said, I still have much to learn, not even halfway to being skilled enough. From now on, I mustn't hold back at all. I must reset my way of thinking. Ready to strike. But where is Freddy? Because I just want to be sure. Freddy? Did I get the right one? There he is. Well, looks like you made some wonderful progress in your fishing. Yeah, a gift from the Fisherman's Guild. And I'm the one who caught 3 or more different kinds of fish. Oh. Must help out a lot. Thanks, Freddy.
You bet!
Alright then. Yeah, don't have the ingredients yet. Very well. Right, so let's start heading off towards Parm. Towa, that's what I want. Can't speak to the horses. It's quite disappointing. We'll need to head south for Parm. Just to let you know, the trek is a little longer than St. Ark's. Once we pass the bridge with the railway tracks along it, it'll be right there. Speaking of, I wonder what happened with the derailed train. I presume there's been some progress after over an hour. It wouldn't be a bad idea to check and see how it's going. Alright, let's go.
Yeah!
Very much like there's a chest around here somewhere, I know of that. Get that and get off. Towards Parm, that is. Yes.
Yeah!
Yeah. No, expected a scene at that point. There it is.
Whoa. It totally has been derailed.
Let's ask Major Michael about it.
Let's stop and check on the train before we head to Parm. I was gonna see if I could get the chest first, but no. It's like, oh, I'm gonna ignore Vivian, it feels weird. Does that say horse settings? Yep, horse settings. Hey, that car. It's one of the Railway Military Police's special operations vehicles. Doom. And there's the derailed train. The maintenance train car is here as well. Damage seems to be minimal. Yeah, I wasn't on my horse. Ah, it's you. Yes, we were on our way to Parm, but we were worried, so we came to check on what happened. Could we get a briefing on the accident here? Very well, come down here. Today at 11:52 a.m., the train was derailed by this fallen rock. Fortunately, the rock wasn't too big to begin with, and since it broke into smaller pieces upon landing, damage to the train was minimal. There are a few injuries, and all of them light. Treatment has already been completed. We've investigated the site thoroughly, but found no trace of anything such as explosives. Between that and the engineer's testimony, we can assume it was a landslide due to natural causes. Assume, so you're not certain then? Is there something you find suspicious about the accident? It's just a figure of speech. Because the rock broke into so many pieces, we are unable to determine the state of the scene before the accident. In the event, maintenance of the engine has been completed, so normal operation will resume shortly. I see. Timing still seems pretty suspicious, though. It does. If the damage is only slight, it may have just been a coincidence. By the way, weren't any unidentified metal pieces found nearby, were there? I've already been informed archaisms have been sighted, correct? Yes, and not just them. There have been a number of suspicious individuals sighted recently, too. Do you think there was any chance any archaism was the cause of this? My subordinates found no traces of them in the search of the area. If there was the possibility... Michael speaking. Oh, it's you, Reveld. What? Instructor Claire? Yes, Schwarzer and the others have just arrived on the scene. Fine. Oh! Video communication. Hello, everyone. So there really were archaisms in the area, then? Yes, we fought some. As they were not the latest models, it's hard to determine whether the society's involved or not at this point. Still need to investigate the other two locations they were sighted at. Now that you've confirmed their presence, please be careful. I've been informed of the derailment as well. Just as a precaution, I'm heading over. That will not be necessary. Huh? The situation is under control. There's no need for you to remain here as well. We're receiving backup from the Intelligence Division. Return to Heimdall as planned. But... listen to me. You're not just part of the Railway Military Police. You have direct orders from the Chancellor to return. The Chancellor? That's... Understood. Please see to the rest, Major. Rean, Yuna, Altina, Kurt, please be careful. I'll be praying for the branch campus's success. Hope your missions go smoothly. Instructor Claire. Thank you. You be careful too. Seems she has a more pressing mission. Indeed. One important enough to take precedence over everything going on here. It's simply a matter of the RMP's priorities. Ew. Major, all repairs are complete. Resume operation. I will now return to the field exercise grounds. Class 7 Special Operations, proceed to Parm. Oh, very well. Burp. Jeez, what's with that hard ass? He was rude to us. He was rude to Instructor Claire. And I don't think it's rare for a military man like him to be so curt and direct. That said, his conversation with Major Claire seems strange. He mentioned backup from the Intelligence Division. Didn't mean you, did he? No, not in this instance. Judging from the situation here, it seems many things are in motion. Yeah, seems so. Well, for now, let's head to Parm. Still need to investigate those two remaining locations. You got it. Let's go. Alright, so let's get back to chasing down these chests.
Well. Seems like some annoying flies started buzzing around. And it's such an important time, too. It's been a year and a half. Black Rabbit's changed a bit, but he looks completely different. I guess it's not surprising for a boy his age. He has a long way to go, though.
What are you so happy about?
I am not happy!
I had a feeling when we ran into each other earlier. Seems like he might be even stronger than I've heard. I wonder who's stronger, him or Dolphy? I'm getting kind of excited just thinking about it.
The Red Reaper. He is certainly impressive. But either way, none of them are a match for us. Not even her. We might as well leave them be. They'll serve as a nice little distraction for us.
That's all well and good, but... Can I just have a little taste?
Oh dear.
Ugh, you enforcers. Listen up! We're finally about to restart the big plan we've been working towards this whole time. I heard you're working directly under the third Anguis, so why don't you take this a little more seriously?
Come on! Let's just have some fun while we've got the chance.
What? Ah! What are you?
The armor makes them seem small, but they're actually about as big as Lady Belle's. They don't quite stack up to what your two friends have been blessed with, but I still like them just fine.
Hey! Quit messing around! Cut it out! This girl is out of control! Mother... No! My lord!
All right then. Think I'll make my grand return to the Empire as flashy as possible. Seems like I certainly won't be wanting for opponents. If I'm lucky, I might even draw out a surprise guest or two.
Shirley will be Shirley. Name of the game, everyone. Like again, it all comes down to that idea with me with Shirley, where it's like, she doesn't realize what she's doing is so inherently wrong because of her upbringing. It's still inherently wrong. It's just, I won't say understandable, what's the word? It's more like you can see how she is the way she is with her upbringing being what it is.
Looks like a real tough one.
Okay, as I'm dead there. Oh, it's a Sepith. I forgot they don't attack you if you're on a horsey. We'll take our time a little bit. Is this just a fishing spot? That's just a fishing spot. No one cares about your fishing spot. There. Let's dash in. Yeah! Is there a chest up here?
It's powerful. We must take care.
No, we mustn't. No one cares about your fishing with your fishing bait. Bleh. Is that it for chests? I think maybe not, because there seems to be an area over there I've not explored. Alright then. This guy trying to guard this chest, I'm like, ha ha ha!
Treasure located.
And we're through! You can't stop me, mate! You can't stop me! Oh, that can stop me though. Right, so I think it's just Parm now, isn't it? Is there a chest? No, we're good. Right, Parm. Finally. At long last, the time has come. 2 p.m. Because there's one person in particular I do want to speak to here. The Spinning Town.
Wow, what a beautiful town.
Parm, the spinning town. The southernmost town of the Empire.
This is my first time here too, but it's just as breathtaking as I was told.
Alright.
This is the place Group B visited for their first field study.
I envied them.
You said you lived here till you were 10, right? Does seeing it again bring back any memories?
Yeah, there are some old acquaintances here too. But more importantly, should we look for those monsters?
No, there are requests we need to take care of, so let's look around town first. We might be able to get some info on the archaisms and the derailing incident while we're at it. Kurt, can you guide us?
Yes, of course.
What? Are you embarrassed to see those old acquaintances of yours again?
You said your family's training hall is here too, correct?
Not anymore. The Parm training hall was closed at the end of last year. That said, someone may still be there, so I'd like to stop by at some point.
Oh, I see.
Closed?
Well, for now, Kurt, I'll leave this to you. So, just tell us where we should head.
Understood. Let's be off.
I want to be heading in there, I think, to find him. Perhaps we should head to the general store in the inn. There are many talented artisans here, and the inn seems like a prime place to gather information. Got it. Which way is to the training hall, though? Oh. Cross that waterway and it's right before the old road. I don't think anyone would be there at this time of day, though, so we can hold off until later. I'll write a memo so we don't forget. Alright, let's get going.
These patterns are so cute! I'm gonna snap some pics with my Arcus so I can show everyone later.
Alright then. But we will be pretty much ending this part here. It's just, I want to speak to him. There he is. There he is. Ovid. People know me in the Burl as a merchant of sorts, a dealer in rare ingredients of all shapes and stripes. The Burl and the Empire were at war at one point, but that was 14 years ago. God, that feels weird. Relations have gotten a lot better recently, so I figured I could expand my area of operation. The Empire is surely flush with a grand assortment of interesting ingredients. Oh, how thrilling. Simply can't wait to see how my next business deals turn out. People know me in the Burl as a dealer of rare ingredients of sorts. And what sort of delicacies I'll discover here in the Empire, I'm simply tingling with anticipation. It's like, yeah, we're not doing the rounds, but I want to check in on people like him, because it's Ovid. It's just fascinating. It's just fascinating. Right, so we'll end this part here, and the next part we'll start touring Parm. So we'll see you then. Ta-ra for now.